Hello. Who's with us? Kirill FB. How you doing? I'm very well, despite the tropical temperatures we're enjoying here in the UK. Outdoors it is pretty oppressive. I suppose it doesn't match some of the other tropical countries in the world, but when you're not used to it, it's tropical. Temperature today, let's have a look at what the phone says. London, 86 degrees at the moment. Virginia number 1, cool. Well, I thought I'd give this swamp flower a try. Haven't tried it yet. Resisted temptations and intimidations because I've mentioned this before. I don't know why, but this has got a bit of a reputation as quite a stout blend. It also has high poly. It also has an element of, excuse me, I think it has some, it must have some kind of Lakeland in there. Oh, it's not good. It's not new. No, it's an estate I bought a while back, but I don't smoke it very often. But because of the Lakeland aspect of this blend, I wasn't sure if it would end up ghosting one of my pipes, so I decided not to use one that I use too often. I've got to say, as with the GQ blends, you blend it and you're supposed to leave it for 2 weeks to marry before you try it. The other ones I did try earlier because I was just impulsive, and it was fine. This one I didn't because I was just worried about trying it and not getting it as it's supposed to be, because it was off-putting already as it is with this Lakeland. High Northeast. I blended this on the 18th of June. So we've had almost 3 weeks now. So I figure it would be plenty of time for it to have had some marrying going on. 1, 2, yeah, it's just over 2.5 weeks. And when I first, after the first few days, I sort of opened it and had a whiff. It didn't smell too bad, but now it smells so Lakelandy, it's ridiculous. I'm hoping the flavours won't be. It does have a certain earthiness and sort of a fruity, sort of a stewed fruit aroma as well. I have tried Toscano cigars, not really my cup of tea. I think I still have one in the humidor. I gave the rest away. I think I sent a bunch to Paul the Scandinavian, the ones that I bought when I was in Venice last year. Yeah, Glyn is I mean, he's not officially blending, but he's obviously worked out some kind of deal with Sam at GQ Tobaccos, whereby either he sold or licensed the recipes and they're selling it in kit form. Just good luck to them. It's enterprising, and it gives people back some blends which they were really fond of. Yeah, I mean, he's very informative. Obviously, a knowledgeable guy. Certainly knew his way around tobacco, knows his way around tobacco. How's that Virginia number one, Kirill? I don't think I've had Virginia number one, but I imagine it's fairly similar to. Hi, Mick. This coffee is well known on my channel. It's basically regular coffee, regular instant coffee of your choice, whichever you prefer. About half full. Then, it's in other words, water and coffee and sweetener if you want it, or sugar. And then I have a Dualit milk frother, and it's about half with frothed milk, creamed milk, if you like. It's not cream, it's frothed, but it does make a very good job. It does do a very good job, the Dualit, and it really froths it very nicely. And on top of it is just chocolate powder, drinking chocolate, and it melts as it goes on because it's hot, and it just makes a great drink. It's something which I really enjoy. Oh, cool. This thing with the dog, I don't know what it was, but when I went to the Israti sale last year and I bought a load of Tobaccana, one of the things I came back with was that dog pipe holder. And that one, the reason why that one caught my eye was because it reminded me of the characters in, you know, if you go to snooker halls, you see the pictures of the dogs playing snooker. It was in that sort of vein. The way that model was made, it looked like those dogs in those. It just reminded me of that, and I just liked the idea of it. I used to be quite a keen snooker player in my youth, and I used to see those pictures quite often in different snooker halls. So I just liked the way it was made, the way the dog was made. Whereas this one, which I got as a gift very, very kindly from Pipe Tree, this is after an actual dog. You know, it's a realistic representation of a. I don't know what that is. It's a realistic representation of a dog. Which personally, if I was going to go to a shop and buy one, I probably wouldn't buy that. I like it very much now that I've got it, but I probably wouldn't go out and buy it. But the other one was more of a caricature, and it was a dog dressed up in a suit of some kind, standing up and holding a pipe. I just liked the idea of that. It was just something which really caught my imagination. But I was happy to let it go for a good cause. So, right, I think this is ready for smoking. There's a little bit of humidity in there still. It really does still have, it really has a very distinct Lakeland aroma. I'm very happy to hear that, Paulie. That's cool. Alright, so I've put a filter in. These 60, is this a 60 something? 606, yeah. They've got huge bowls. I've got a St. Nicholas 606. Where is it? There it is. This is the second pipe I ever bought. I bought this in Davidoff. Hi Shrekken. Oh, a long time no see, Shrekken. Hope you're well. Bought this, when was this? 2015? I think it was the end of 2015. And I was just kind of getting into the swing of things. I had been smoking the Bots Shukwan, the first pipe I bought, and I was smoking mostly cherry blends and the standard over-the-counter stuff which you could get in the UK. And I really kind of was fine-tuning and honing my smoking skill during that summer holiday of 2015. during the vacations. And then when I came back, I got wind of St James's Street, went down there, and I've been hooked ever since. I go there fairly regularly. Anyway, so this was the second pipe I ever bought. I don't remember what I paid for it. I'll tell you what, I just had a look at the 2018 pipe of the year from Savinelli. Absolute fortune. Can't believe it. It's a similar, some of them are similar shape to this. It's got 2 briar rings. It's a very nice looking pipe, but they're like £400. That's ridiculous. I was really disappointed when I saw that, because I would have liked to have got one. But I'm not spending that kind of money on a Savinelli. Yeah, so basically, I know that they're good pipes anyway. They smoke very, very well. And they've also, as I say, I got to this by talking about the size of the bowl, but it's exactly the same pipe, and the bowl is huge. But I won't be filling the bowl on this occasion with swamp flower. There's probably a half a bowl's worth, or at least that's what I'm going to put in. Yeah, I have to be honest, Shrekken, I don't get to do so many cigar videos these days. Simply, somebody made a comment actually, which I thought was really surprising. On one of my pipe videos, somebody put a sarcastic remark and said, "Oh, so this is a pipe channel now, is it?" As if they owned the channel and had a right over it as to what content I put on it, because they were hoping to see cigar videos all the time. I just found that quite comical and laughable. I don't think I even responded. I just find it very, hi Tim, I just find it very ridiculous, you know, the society today, how people just think that because you're presenting some kind of channel of some kind on a regular basis, that they have a right and that they own and have a say in what your channel content is, and it just gets a bit much. But there you go. C'est la vie. Right, swamp flower. Here we go. As I said, I have been a bit intimidated by this blend. It's supposed to be quite stout in the nicotine front as well. Right, and it's usually people that never really comment that end up being that way. Yeah, absolutely. Generally speaking, people who gripe and whinge are people who have got, I don't mean this badly, but it's the reality, is they usually got some kind of sad reality in their own life. And it's people also who comment about stuff that you've got, and you know, in a way which is sort of in a negative way. It's generally people who are either jealous or they've got issues in their life, which is sad in itself, but the fact that a person needs to sort of cheer themselves up by pulling somebody else down, I think that's a very sad situation. It really reflects more on the person doing it than, you know, I just ignore it as much as I can, any of that kind of stuff. Absolutely, Shrekken. Oh, Lakeland straight away. Oof. I've got a feeling that I'll be passing this on to somebody, some lucky fellow. I don't know if it's some omen here, but every time I try to light it, the lighter goes out. So I've gone to my Bic now, and that's doing the same thing. I think that some of the Codger blends, the English Codger blends, a lot of them were Lakelands. So I think this blend will certainly be popular amongst some of the more mature generation of pipe smokers. I'm not a fan of the aroma, the Granny Knickers aroma, or Granny Pants. Nah, that's a shame. I was hoping it would be an extremely sort of subtle element of this blend. Well, I've got to give it a chance to settle in. You're getting a bad picture. I'm sorry. I have no control over that. I'm sorry. Oh, you mean the granny knickers? Oh, that made me smile. This is, for me, this is a real Lakeland. And I'm so glad that I didn't choose the pipe that I usually use. It has got some nice elements though. If you try to isolate the Granny Pants aroma and then try and focus on the rest of it. And actually, the baseline of this blend is quite nice. It's just really hard to isolate it. I think the Lakeland is ebbing a little bit, and it's moving a little bit more into the main flavour, and it's kind of balancing out better, which is a relief. That's good news, Tim. Clearly you got some techie skills there, which you should be putting to good use. Bring in some money. Nowadays there's a lot of remote work that you could do with remote software, access software, where you can work on other people's computer. You know this more than I do, I'm sure. I've had people work on my computer from their office. When you install, I can't remember what that software is called. The Relight takes you straight back into Lakeland. Is that a big deal to update, Tim? TeamViewer, that's the one. Yep. Well, you know what the saying is. One at a time, dear. You'll be talking to your employment support worker about it next time. Yeah, you want to be careful what you put on your channel actually. I was thinking about that yesterday when you started talking about it. Unless you're helping out a mate, of course. It's not an issue, is it? Doping? I hope you're not doping. Working on the sly. Dope? What else, Tim? Well, I will say this tobacco is a unique flavour. That's for sure. I think what I'm going to do, because it's not something that I think I will ever like, but you never know. Never say never. I said that about Latakia when I first started. But I think I'm going to include the contents of this in my giveaway prizes. So there's a good 50 grams there, a couple of ounces. So the winner will have 2 GQ Tobaccos blends. Did you pick any up, Tim? Yeah, the chocolate and vanilla. I might try that again in a minute. It's actually not that bad. The Lakeland definitely is an off-putter for me, no question. I don't enjoy it. When I first tried Ennerdale, I actually liked that flavour because it was not so much granny pants. It was more of almost like it was a sweet marzipan-y kind of, had a very different aroma. It was an aroma which I didn't mind, but this one, the floral one, really is not really to my liking. But as I said, the bottom end of it is not bad. It's it's like a deeper fruity. Well then, don't bother getting this swamp flower. It's a very good name actually, come to think of it. Swamp flower, it really describes what it is, because the bottom end of it is really quite earthy and stewed fruit, that kind of thing. And the flower being the floral Lakeland bit. There's a good bit of sweetness there, but it's not a sugary sweetness, it's a natural sweetness. See, a lot of people are doing videos on their pipe collections for Justin Taylor. Has his giveaway finished? Well, the actual pipe rotation of active pipes in active service is actually quite small now on mine, on my collection. I think there's about 20 or 25 pipes, and then I've got a drawer with probably 25 to 30 pipes that I'm not smoking, which will either at some point go into another sale. I might convert some of them, but they're just sitting there at the moment looking sorry for themselves. Yeah, I haven't seen Well, put it this way, Tim's dad, he's got a great collection there. I didn't realise he had so many pipes. Unicorn Piper's just put one up. I haven't watched through his yet. I mean, I could possibly use the video that I did a while back, that live video showing my collection. Maybe. Where are you up to with pipes, Tim? Number-wise? Nice, Paulie. Are you planning on doing any videos at some point, Paulie? Perhaps showing your collection? Yeah, I do find that, Tim. I think a lot of people probably find that you go through phases where you have your favourite bunch and the rest you smoke every so often. I would say that in terms of regular smokes, I have probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I would say ones that I could really say get regular smokes, probably between 13 and 15 pipes, something like that, and some which get smoked more often than that. And that's kind of the rationale behind my modus operandi, if you like, why I keep changing and evolving my collection. I was speaking to Izzy, Happy Go Lucky Piper, on WhatsApp earlier today. His daughter's just got engaged, so we were having a chat about that. And he was telling me that the Israeli group, the Facebook group that I got that Israeli pipe from, the Paranelli, the Amarelli, they thought that I was a pipe dealer because I've forever got pipes up for sale. But the reality is, that I just, I just don't see the point in owning hundreds of pipes. There are some people out there who have got thousands, and I just don't get the point of it, because you're never going to smoke them all. And yes, a collector is a collector. I understand that. It's about owning them and looking at them and enjoying them. I do get that, but I guess I'm not a pipe collector so much as a pipe smoker. I do like to have nice pipes, but if they're not being smoked, put it this way, the last thing I would want is that in the fullness of time, hopefully after many, many years, I pop my clogs. The last thing I want is that my kids come into my office, my den, chuck all my pipes into a box and shove it into a charity shop or something like that. Because the vast majority of people see no value in the pipes whatsoever. And I just don't see the point of that. So if I'm going to have the pipes, they should really have the best use made of them whilst I'm smoking. So that even if it's in 50 years' time, or whatever it might be, 70 years' time maybe, I stop smoking a pipe, they'll have been used. They'll have justified their existence. And yes, it's possible that somebody might make use of them and might realise their value. And but I'm just not of that. I don't see pipes. Although I get, for instance, some of the most beautiful pipes out there, which go for thousands of pounds. I get it, and I like them as well. But unless I was in the bracket where I was literally an absolute multi-millionaire, and it wouldn't hurt me financially, I can't bring myself to spend that kind of money on a pipe. And it just doesn't. I mean, I see that we've talked about this before, but the Annie Julie, whatever her name is, pipes going for £4,000 or £5,000. I don't even see the beauty in those pipes. But you go to um, uh, some of the other pipe makers, the pipe work is just beautiful, absolutely stunning. And but even so, Tom Eltang, beautiful pipes. You know, his prices are actually not as bad as some people. You can buy a Tom Eltang, a decent Tom Eltang, for between £500 and £1,000. But you've got some people who Tao pipes. His pipes go for £3,000, £4,000. They're very nice, but I just don't see the value. But on the other hand, you go to some of there's some American carvers out there who are putting out some stunning work, absolutely stunning work. And I feel to some extent as well that I feel a bit hard done by because I'm now smoking filtered pipes. That I don't really have access. I mean, I can buy them, but then I'd really have to be a collector because I'm not going to smoke them, unlikely to smoke them. So I'm really just would be buying it as a collector, which I'm not. I thought I said, I need to put there, actually, less than £50. Well, that's pretty good. It's a good way to go, Tim. That way you're not really, you haven't spent too much. Paulie, yeah. Hi, Josh. Yeah, I mean, that's really, my philosophy has always been that when I spend more, if I buy a Savinelli, I know it's going to be a pipe which will give me good service and I won't have spent the earth on it, and when I stop using it, if I stop using it, it's not going to really hurt me too much. If I buy a particularly nice pipe, say a Dunhill, I know that I'll be able to, if I look after it. I'm very particular with my pipes. I look after them and clean them nicely, and I keep them in good condition. And I know that when I sell it, I'll more than likely get my money back, or if not all of it, most of it. And in many cases, I've made profit on the pipes as well. I don't think that over all the pipes that I've bought and sold, that I've made any significant loss. Yes, there'll be a percentage on some of them, but compared to the profits that I've made on some of them, I don't think I've lost any money. Which when I do pipe sales and people wonder why am I passing on such nice pipes, it doesn't bother me because I know that I'm on a constant, that's really part of my hobby. Rather than collecting, my hobby is really experiencing new things and trying out new pipes. And your tastes and your preferences change all the time. And now, I'm really going for much more basic, traditional, still nice pipes, but more, basic shapes. For me, the ideal shapes are pipes like this billiard and this Chacom. Just straight, plain, as straight a possible line of the drill with a reasonably sized bowl. I mean, this particular pipe, I just absolutely love the way that the shape of the bowl, the way it rounds off at the top. I never used to like a rounded Danish style rim. I never did. I always used to go for really straight rims, but the way this one is made, it just works so well. I just love the lines on this. And to me, when I smoke it, it feels like a real artisan pipe when I smoke this. It just has that feel about it. Don't know why, but it just, it's just one which has taken me. So yeah, I try not to buy things recklessly, and I try to buy pipes that I know that if I need to sell it, that I will not lose too much money on it. So there's an argument for that. At the same time, if you're not spending more than 25 quid, you're also not really losing much out of it. Yeah, I mean, all the shapes are very nice, especially if you've got a wide bowl. A lot of the factory author shapes, I've noticed that although the shape is an author shape, but see, originally an author or a prince or something like that, I think the idea of those pipes was to have quite a shallow bowl but with a wide diameter, and that was, a lot of people used those for Balkan blends, for Latakia blends. They felt it gave them a much broader taste profile when they smoked it, because I assume because more surface area is combusting at one time, compared to say Virginias, where people smoke them in a narrow, tall, narrow bowl. Their sort of not having so much a light at the same time. So hopefully not to overheat it and not to get tongue bite and things like that. But with Latakia, which burns very cool, they tended to go for a broader diameter and get more flavour. But I find that's true certainly with artisan pipes, but with factory pipes, I find that the tobacco chambers are all pretty universal depending on the company that you're going with. So if you're going with, say, Savinelli, and say they do a 20 mil diameter chamber, you'll have that same chamber across the different styles of pipe. So the author shape or the Prince shape, the shape of the pipe is the shape, but the bowl is not really giving you that. What was originally, as I understand it, I might be wrong, but as I understand it, that was the original intention of the Prince and the author. That was quite shallow but wide. Where I don't think that they stay true to that on the factory pipes. That's how I see it. But certainly things like the 320 has got a big advantage in that there's a lot of briar there, so you're going to get a cool smoke. That's for sure. Right, I think I'm going to dispense with this swamp flower. I can't say that I got a major nick hit from it, but didn't smoke it that much because I was too busy jawing. Right, so I think this is going to go in with the prizes for the giveaway, well, the contents anyway. Just going to put it in the bag. I've put all the stuff in one bag so I don't forget what's going in it. So that's gone in there. I'm not sure time-wise. I think I'm actually going to try the Asquith again. The chocolate vanilla, well, I'm going to open them, let's have a look. Can you smell it? It really has got a great smell. Aroma, I don't like using the word smell with tobacco, unless I have to. It's got a great aroma. Anyway, I think I'm going to leave that for now. Gentlemen, I'm going to wish you all a fantastic weekend. Kids have come home, so I'm sure I'll be needed. Hopefully we'll see you all tomorrow night. Thank you very much for joining. Thank you, Paulie. Thank you, Tim. Thank you, Josh. Thank you, Shrekken, if you're still there. And anybody else that's joined. Krilly, Northeast. Everybody have a fantastic weekend. And I will hopefully catch you tomorrow. Thanks for joining.